As I'm preparing for our upcoming group trip to the Philippines, only 9 more sleeps left, I kinda need to figure out which one of these lenses available to me here I will be combining with my RED Komodo to capture the small critters that are waiting for us in the Philippines. Let's use this video today to do a bit of a testing and figure out which one of these lenses is most suitable for filming macro with the RED Komodo. Right after the intro. Hey there underwater filmmakers, what's going on? Great to see you back here on the channel for another video today. Today's video is gonna be slightly different because we're gonna be using the video sort of as a testing ground to find out which of the lenses that I've got available here should be combined with the RED Komodo for our upcoming adventure in the Philippines to film all the cool small critters that are waiting for us there. Now let me give you a quick backstory about the Komodo myself. Now we've been a team for about 15 months now, and from the first time I've used this camera underwater, I have fallen in love with it. I love the image that comes out of this camera. I love the way you handle this camera underwater, specifically with the gates housing. I love how much you can do to the image in post-production. It is a dream to work with, and I've used it in the past 15 months on a huge variety of different jobs and projects, and I wouldn't really want to give it away anymore. Now having said that though, I need to also clarify that I haven't really done a lot of macro filming with the RED Komodo. Now most of the projects and destinations that I've visited in the last 15 months, they were sort of wide angle destinations, and mostly I was filming wide angle with my standard 15 to 35mm Canon L series lens on it. So the only time that I've really used the RED Komodo to film macro was kind of in our lakes here around Zurich earlier this year when we had the toads mating and the tadpoles hatching after that. I used that opportunity to practice macro filming with the RED a little bit, but only to a very small extent. So I'm hoping and I'm really excited about being able to increase my capabilities of filming macro with the RED Komodo on this trip to the Philippines. Now because I don't really have a lot of experience with that, I need to figure out what lens I want to be using, and I want to do that in a technical way. So in this video today, we'll be testing 2 lenses. We'll be testing the 100mm macro lens by Canon, which is the one that I've used to shoot the images that you're just seeing now from the toads and the tadpoles in the Lake Lucerne. And then I've also got the 24-105, which is also an L series lens by Canon, which I got a little later this year, and I mostly use this lens for my commercial work that I do. I do a lot of event coverage for commercial corporate clients here in Zurich, and that's a lens that I use mostly for that stuff. So I want to compare these 2 lenses because I find it interesting to see whether it makes sense to use the 24-105 inside the gates housing and the RED Komodo to have a little more variety and a little more flexibility when it comes to filming in the Philippines, because it's not only gonna be critters, there's also gonna be reefs, there's also gonna be beautiful corals, and I also want to capture some wide angle stuff. But with cameras like these, it's oftentimes the problem that you kind of need to decide before you get into the water whether you're gonna be going wide angle with like something like a 15 to 35mm, or you want to go macro and you really go with a proper macro lens like the 100mm. So I want to find out with this test today whether I should stick to the 100mm macro lens, the proper macro lens, or if the 24-105 is the better option in terms of giving me just more flexibility, but at the same time still very good macro capabilities. So there's 2 things that are important to me in determining which of these lenses will be my favorite macro filming lens. First of all, they should have a decent magnification so that I can show my tiny critter that I'm filming decently, in a decent size. I can blow it up, I can fill the frame with that critter, and the magnification is primarily achieved by the focal length of a lens. Both of these lenses, they are pretty even there because we've got a 100mm here on the macro lens and we've got a 105 on our zoom lens here. And then the second thing, the second factor that is interesting and important is the minimal focusing distance. Now the minimal focusing distance tells you how close you can get to your object and still properly focus on your object. And typically speaking, a macro lens like the 100mm is gonna be capable of getting closer to your object and still properly focusing on it. And a telephoto lens or a zoom lens like the 24-105 will need a larger distance in between the object and the lens to be able to still properly focus. And that can make quite a difference, even if they have the same focal length. But if the distance, the minimal focusing distance, is too much different from one another, the result that you're able to capture can be quite different. So this is what I want to test out and try out in this video today, and hopefully get to a conclusion which of these lenses I will be using for filming the macro critters on the upcoming Philippines trip. Now the way I'm gonna do this is that I've got my little pal Mr. Peanut here. Some of you might know him from previous videos. He's actually been with me for a good 12 years now. So you can see he's lost both his arms along the way. He's been on many underwater adventures with me, probably had about 1,000 dives that he spent with me in those last 12 years. So Mr. Peanut is gonna be our macro object that we're gonna be using as our test object. And I've got my 15-35mm lens on here right now, which is going to be a reference. I've set it to 35mm, and I want to see what's the minimal focusing distance on 35mm with that lens, and how much enlarged Mr. Peanut looks on that image. Then we're going to change to the other two lenses and we'll do the same thing there, and then we're just going to compare the images, how they look, how much magnification I'm getting on each of these images, and what the minimal focusing distance is. We're gonna put them side by side, and then after that, I'm hopefully gonna be able to decide which one of these lenses will be my favorite for filming macro. So I'm gonna be speeding up the next couple of minutes here while I'm turning on the camera, doing all the little bits and pieces here, and you'll see the results of the 15-35mm lens at 35mm as our reference, and then later on also the 24-105 and the 100mm macro lens. Yeah, this always takes a little longer with the RED Komodo. It's not a point and shoot camera. It does take a moment to power up and be ready for the shooting, but that's just normal. So this is our reference shot. This is the Mr. Peanut around, I would say, 10 to 11 centimeters away from the front element of the lens. And you can get a decent shot. It's not like a proper super macro shot, but it's a decent shot. You can get fairly close to your object that way, but that's not the lens that I want to be using for the macro stuff. I want to get much closer than that. So let's put on the 24-105 and see what the image looks like at 105mm with that lens. So as you can see, just turning the camera on again, or recording, as you can see, we have the same distance. Of course, the lens has come up a little more than before, but I haven't moved Mr. Peanut and we are very much out of focus. So I need to be pulling back with Mr. Peanut to see where we get our minimal focusing distance. still not quite there yet. There we are. So this is our minimal focusing distance. If we adjust our meter a little bit for the changed length of the lens, and now we'll look at around 25-26 millimeters, 25-26 centimeters of minimal focusing distance. And if we look at the image, it doesn't really look that different, at least not from what I can see here on the screen, to what we had with the 35 millimeter just before. So that's not a huge improvement to the 35 millimeter. I can't really get any closer. If I get closer, I want to get a more magnified image. It's just not going to be capable, the lens is not going to be capable of focusing. So let's turn this off and let's try the 100 millimeter macro lens next and see what we can get there. So we've got the 100 millimeter lens on now at the same distance to the object as the 105, the zoom lens before, and you can see already that we have a different looking image, even though it's not in focus. If we put that in focus now, there we go. If we put that in focus now, it's a very different image. It's already much more magnified than what we had before, but we're actually not at the limit because we still have those 25-26 centimeters of distance in between the lens and our object, and I'm pretty sure we can get closer with that lens. So let's go to the smallest possible, the shortest distance that we can go. Oh, look at that. We're getting closer. Let me just turn on peaking so I can tell you when we are in focus. Just got out of focus there. This looks like it's pretty focused on the eye. Yes, so now we can just open up the aperture a little bit so we get some more light on there. Yeah, this looks pretty good on the focus. And now we've got, let me see, now I've got around, what's that? About 13 centimeters of minimal focusing distance. But you can clearly see now how different that image looks. And even though we're only on 100 millimeters here compared to 105 we had on the zoom lens, the image is much more magnified because we can be much closer to our object that way. So I think this goes without discussion that the 100 millimeter lens is going to be my go-to favorite lens for the macro filming part that is coming up in the Philippines. I can't wait to capture some really cool macro shots with that setup. What I probably will do though, I will put a GoPro or the new Osmo Action 4 at the front or on top of my dome of the lens. I'll show you just here, because this is going to be sitting just like there, and then up here I'll probably put a GoPro or the Osmo Action 4 that just arrived today, and I'm gonna be using that as a wide angle lens in case I do encounter some larger stuff while we're searching for the small critters. So I won't be able to capture the large stuff with the RED Komodo, but that's okay. But I will at least not miss out on the larger stuff by being able to capture it with an action cam that is gonna be sitting on the camera there. So yeah, that kind of concludes our little experiment and our testing for today. I hope this was useful and interesting to you. If you enjoyed this kind of video, then let me know down in the video description, or not in the description, but in the comment section below, so I know to come up with more of these videos for you guys in the future. If you have any questions about any of what we looked at today, feel free to leave them down in the comment section as well, and I'll get back to you as quickly as I can. Thank you so much guys for your time and for watching. As always, if you've enjoyed today's video, hit that like button, don't forget to subscribe, click that little notification bell, you know what to do. Other than that, I wish you a fantastic week. Keep capturing all those amazing underwater adventures of yours, and I will see you in the next video next Tuesday right here on the channel.